Oh boy, I don't know how to say this. Silent Hill, the short message is short, about 2 to 3 hours, so I'll make the review brief. It was just alright. Okay, so tell me what you think in the comments, and hit that subscribe... Oh, what? Oh, too short? Alright, I'll talk a little bit more about it. Let's go. Silent Hill, the short message, was co-developed by Konami and HexaDrive, and released as a PS5 free-to-play exclusive on January 31st, 2024. You play as Anita, a depressed teenager whose friend has recently died by suicide. Anita wakes up in an abandoned complex called the Villa, with no memory of how she got there. Other than the clothes on her back, the only tool Anita has is her cell phone. Her phone is a blessing and a curse because, while it serves as a flashlight, which is important because the abandoned complex can get pretty dark, it's also how she receives some unsettling text messages from her friends. You walk and run through the game in a big loop. A lot of horror games are like this, so it's not a criticism, just an observation. The name of the game is mostly atmosphere, since there are very few puzzles and no combat. You encounter an angry spirit, presumably her dead friend Maya, that will insta-kill you if you don't run away fast enough. There are 3 Chase My Maya scenes, and each one is more frustrating than the one before. It takes place in a fictional, economically depressed German town, but it's funny because all the characters speak English with North American accents.
That's how I want my life to be.
But it's obvious the game is meant to be in another language, since the speaking animations don't come close to the English dub.
Here goes.
The only connection with Silent Hill, the fictional American city of the previous games in the series, is shown in a newspaper article that states some people there see a fog when there isn't any, and they call it the Silent Hill phenomenon. I don't think the fog in Silent Hill was a figment of anyone's imagination. So this rubs me the wrong way, because it's doing the thing I hate, reconstructing canon in order to make something new. I didn't like it when Will and Grace did it, I didn't like it when the Connors did it, and I don't like it in my video games either. I mean, you were telling me a lie the whole time, get the fuck out of here. Anita has more than just the sads. She has clinical depression, being treated with medication. She probably also has PTSD since she was horribly abused by her mother. And the girl can't catch a break either since she's bullied at school as well. These are heavy, heavy things to talk about. But what the game did here was make a character who has a personality of an immature, self-centered teenager who's dealing with normal disappointments in life, instead of a teenager who's seen some shit. And Anita has seen some shit. Why does it not match with the character you're playing? I don't know for sure, but probably a mix between bad writing and bad voice acting. It can be really hard to know which caused which. If the writing's bad, the voice actor doesn't have much to work with. But if the voice actor's bad, the best writing in the world won't mean much.
With most flowers, the rot sets in. Then they fall. That's the price of new life.
It could also be a disconnect between the writers and actors and the gravity of mental illness. Like any other disease, it's difficult to imagine how hard it is unless you or someone close to you has suffered from it. The gameplay is just walking around with internal monologue triggered by making different discoveries. That's not bad. Story-heavy games do that, but that's almost all that it is. There may have been more, but I only remember one puzzle, and as I mentioned, there are 3 chase scenes which are obnoxious as hell. The last one took me 9 minutes of running away from the evil spirit in order to find 5 photos and escape. Ugh, I never want to do that again. As compelling as the issues are in the game, the story just didn't do them justice. Don't get mad at me, but it seemed like a really dark version of Life is Strange, without the decision trees. Now I played a couple of the Life is Strange games, and I've enjoyed them well enough, so this isn't a diss on them. But I don't think the Life is Strange formula works well in horror games. It's like a salty dessert. I know some people like them, but I don't think they go well together. The game's not all bad. I like the graphics. The game looks good. There's a school library sequence, for example, that reminds me so much of my high school's library. It was small, but there were lots of books to choose from, and it was bright and colorful. In contrast, Anita's childhood home is dirty and dark, just like you'd expect it to be. It ends up being the house of horrors you'd think it would be, given Anita's awful childhood. The sound design was excellent and matched the atmosphere. The creepy ambient sounds of an abandoned building were captured perfectly. Performance was good, there were no bugs I encountered. And now for my score. I score games on 5 categories with up to 2 points for each one. Narrative, 0. There's too much wasted potential here, and you are not sympathetic to the characters you're supposed to be sympathetic to. Graphics, 1.5. I can't fault any of the graphics here, it's a good looking game. The only knock I have with it is the speaking animations don't match the dialogue. Gameplay and mechanics, 0. I mean, screw those chase scenes. Music and sound, 2. The sounds add to an otherwise poor game. Replayability and value, 1. It's free, but you won't want to play it twice. This game gets a Maestro mark of 4.5, meaning maybe play if it's free. And I mean, it is free, and there are worse ways to waste your time, but don't say I didn't warn you. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and if you think I deserve it, hit that subscribe button. I'm excited to grow my channel. Okay, see you around.